Tiago, shall we start? Tiago, are you ready? Tiago, are you
Yes,
there?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Yes,
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
yes. Okay. Right. Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to meet you from the Tamil Nadu Nurses and Midwives Council of Tamil Nadu. You know, it is the premier nursing council. And I would love to say you on this occasion of the new year, upcoming June 29, we are entering the birthday of 100th year of the nursing council. Okay, it's three countries which have, I mean, already two countries have celebrated 100 years. The third country is India. In Southeast Asia, you know, it is the first piece of legislation for nurses been introduced by the Britishers in 1926, and it is going to be the 100 years, birthday of the TNMC. I'm really happy to welcome you all in such a premier nursing council. We are all registered, being nurse and midwives of this council. And today, you know, the everywhere you see a lot of things happening for women population, and you know, even the small kids, lot of issues. Even today morning news, I saw in a private sector one school has been trashed out and all that, you know, because there was a 4-year kid being molested. So these are all the things really worries us. And we as a nursing profession, you know, 99.99% with the female gender inside the profession. And also in any health sector, which builds about 67 percentage is nurses. So that means now invariably with the gender separation, and we can see women as a population here, whether it is a nurse or anybody, maybe even a sweeper or a lab technician or a pharmacist, whoever it is. And we as nurses being advocates for our patients, and we should be advocate for our own women folk. That is what I feel now, because women is the folk we always been targeted, because especially in Indian custom, Indian culture, it has been always a patriotic society, not a matronic society. Even they have been abused, molested, and people are not ready to come out and tell because of the social stigma and the family reputation and all that. But in the workplace, safety is very, very important. The government has brought out a lot of rules, a lot of speculations on it, but we are not aware. Even we are not aware to the extent there is a separate landline, helpline for them to call and inform. They will keep their name secretly, and even if there is anything in camera session only, so people will not know. And I know some of the incident which comes out, people leak out, but maybe let us take it that is in 1 in 1 million. Not everyone is like that, because in our society, especially females been as worshipped as goddesses, right? So that means they have that fear and the consciousness. There may be people who are doing this mischievous, but in a professional sector like us, we knew. Maybe if I ask each one of you, will tell me 101 stories when you were young as a student or as a professional, when you grew up. You might have faced a lot of things like this. And I'm honest, I have faced it. And I know how to tackle it. I know how to stand assertively. But will every student or every nurse is bold enough like that? So that is the question. Maybe sometime it is a hierarchy. You would have seen in our own state, the highest police officials have been kept quiet for quite a long year. One day came, it's like came out like a boom, right? So, but we as nurses being a gender wise weaker, and I won't say weaker in the maybe a physic, we are very strong and emotionally and mentally. So I think we need this session, I thought, very, very importantly. So I had and I would love to introduce Rotarian Vidya. She's my close friend, and I've been associated with her for the past 4 years, and she's a seasonal advocate in the High Court of Madras, and she's a highly accomplished distinguished post consultant and external member of the leading organization with 8+ years of experience in the in providing safe and inclusive workplace for women. And our expertise goes on to the post consulting for top tier companies, external member for internal compliance committee for POSH, and trained over 8,500 women on POSH awareness and prevention. She has got a lot of noble affiliations with a lot of high-end companies like HL Mando and India Private Limited, Wilson Power Solutions, Hitachi Energy, and SSN Power Solution, and MSS Technology, like this, so on. And apart from that, I have seen her as a leader, as a president of our Chennapatna Rotary. She has done under her leadership. She faced a lot of challenges, being, we were only two women in that group, okay? Myself
Yes.
and Vidya, and we faced a lot of problems when it come to, some things I cannot spell it out, but she stood firm in her actions. And I tell her, hey, I really look upon you, the way you stood, and she was bold enough when it has happened even to boys, this love affairs and things so on. And she stood
Yes.
firmly and she protected that boy. She addressed that it is the fault of another girl and things so on. She was not biased. So I really admire her leadership in that way. And I'm very happy to introduce Rotarian Vidya for you all. This is my esteemed faculty members, Vidya. We have around 764 institutions, inclusive of ANM, GNM, and BSc Nursing, which includes Tamil Nadu, Pondicherry, and Andaman.
Okay.
Maybe Andaman may not be joining because most of the time they have a cable, net issues.
Excellent. Net issue.
So, very happy to introduce you in this forum, and being associated with you, I think I take it as advantage of inviting you. I was cool, I never bothered even yesterday night to call her. Oh, she's my friend, she would have been ready. Okay. Otherwise, we are very, very
No, it's
people
a pleasure.
plan.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah, plan. We know that we nurses plan and call everyone, keep everything with the steps we keep it. And I've taken that privilege that I know that you will be on time. I have watched you and observed you. And thank you so much for joining. Over to you, Vidya.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for the wonderful introduction, Doctor. And I'm very privileged to address this August gathering. And one more thing I just wanted to tell you is, as a woman, I feel, we should all be empowered with, all this awareness and legal thing. And most of us, as Doctor told, most of us at one point of time would have faced some sort of harassment, either in the buses, stare or something, unwanted touch or comments or something like that. So, how to handle this situation is the main thing. Now, so many laws have come, and Tamil Nadu government also has amended so many, stricter rules and this thing. So, but main thing is how to handle those situations is the main priority now. So, I'll be going through. I'll be telling you about. This POSH Act, as well as there is one more act in Tamil Nadu which we have in place, that is Tamil Nadu Prevention of Harassment in Public Places Act, which I wanted to cover that also. So this will actually empower you so that you can handle any situations in your colleges if any of your student face or they come and reach you for any help. Thank you. Sir, can we start the slide?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I will share this.
See, this act is called Prevention of Sexual Harassment in Workplaces Act. So this act covers any harassment in workplace. So next slide, please. The exact title. Next slide, sir. Next. Mr. Lokesh, can you go to next slide, please? Yes. See, this act exactly is called Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Prevention, Prohibition and Redressal Act. This was passed in the year 2013. It actually provides a mechanism for prevention, prohibition, how to prohibit from happening, and in case if anybody is facing any harassment, how to do the redressal. Okay, so this is the basic idea of this act. Next slide, please. See, we all know about this Anna University case. Okay, so I don't have to elaborate this to you, but for some people who are not aware, the victim was a second year engineering student who had attended, actually the previous day she had attended, I heard from the news that for a mass, Christmas mass, and she came back and was chatting with her with her male classmate. Okay, so there was an outsider who had sneaked in and had taken pictures and started threatening with that and sexually assaulted her. So she has first reached out only to the IC committee in the Anna University, and together with the member of the IC committee, she had gone to the police station and has filed an FIR. See, there is a thin line between, why she has gone to the police station is there is a thin line between situation where IC committee can handle and which has to go to an FIR. Criminal, it becomes criminal after certain thing. So smaller acts, and I just wanted to tell you this IC committee has the powers of only civil judge. Okay, so any act which is coming up to molestation can be handled by the IC committee. Any situation which goes beyond sexual assault or something like that, molestation like that, and which is more of physical in nature, then you have to call in only the police. So in this particular case, since it was a sexual assault and physical harm has been done to the student, the IC committee member had taken her to the police station and she had filed a FIR. Okay, so next slide, please. So there was one more case actually which was filed in 2018, but the judgment was given only last month. This case, I just wanted to tell you about these cases so that you can understand more on these type of cases, you know. So the complainant, she's an IT professional in Bangalore who is a regular user of Ola. Okay, so one particular time, she had taken a Ola taxi through the Ola platform from her residence in Yelahanka, and she was going to the JP Nagar where her office was situated. During the ride, she noticed that the driver actually was staring at her through the rear view mirror, and it was she was feeling very uncomfortable. And to her shock, he started seeing some video clippings. When she observed, she saw he's seeing pornographic material in phone, and then he started masturbating. Okay, so she was feeling very, very uncomfortable. It was very awkward situation. So what she did is she asked him to stop the vehicle. The driver refused, saying that he has only booked for the particular location destination JP Nagar, and he will stop only there. So it was a 45 minutes of ordeal which she has to face, and finally she exited from the taxi and immediately she gave a complaint to the owner. What Ola did is, Ola said he is not an employee of our organization. He is on a contract basis. So we cannot proceed anything against him. This is what a reply given by the Ola. What she did is she had filed a case against the Ola in the Karnataka High Court, which came for hearing in the last few months. From May it was going on. So what finally the judgment was given by the Karnataka High Court is like contract employee also come under this act, is covered under the definition of employee in this act, and the Ola is liable to conduct IC inquiry and has to give a recommendation and do the necessary this thing. So this was an important landmark case. Okay, so it defines who can be an employee. So next slide, please. Yeah, see, this is actually first reported cases in 80s about in 90s about sexual harassment. It's a small video, you can go through it. தியாகு கொஞ்சம் ஆன் பண்ணுங்க. Can you hear the sound? Voice கேக்குதுங்களா? I think தேவ voice கேட்கல. கொஞ்சம் பாருங்க. Okay, I will just tell you briefly about this case. This is about Bajaj, who had filed a complaint against KPSK. Voice பாருங்க sir. Voice வருதா பாருங்க.
Checking, ma'am. Checking.
Yeah. So I will just tell you briefly about this case. See, this IAS and IPS officers, they had a get together in North India. I don't know, maybe it might be in Delhi. What had happened is KPS Gill saw actually this
people
Bajaj.
under
This,
me, 90% were men. There was a dinner party hosted by the Home Secretary and Mr. K.P., who was the Director General of Police, was also there. He called out to me and he said, Mrs. Bajaj, she may be educated, uneducated, she may be working class, she may be an officer, she may be high-ranking officer like me. All women, nobody is immune, and it happens every day. In 1988, I was serving as Special Secretary Finance. I had about 20,000 people under me. 90% were men. There was a dinner party hosted by the Home Secretary and Mr. KPS Gill, who was the Director General of Police, was also there. He called out to me and he said, Mrs. Bajaj, I want to talk to you about something. He got up and he came and stood in front of me, towering above me. He put the finger in my face like that and he said, up, come on, up, come along with me. Come on, you come along with me. So I said, Mr. Gill, go away from here. You're misbehaving. And I got out from the gap in between him and me, and when I was going, that is the time when he slapped me on the bottom. That's what he did. Always people have considered it to be a very trivial thing, but I could not get over the enormity of it. Letting it go meant living with a lowered self-esteem, gulping down my humiliation, facing that person every day, facing all the other people. Consequences of complaining, I had not really estimated at that time. Nobody was willing to take up the case for me because they were so frightened of the DGP. He was the highest ranking police officer with all the powers of life and death. No one wanted to do anything against him. And I found that no one had ever filed in section 509 and 354, which is the lesser offences against the modesty of women. 17 years, long years of my life, all of it was taken up by this one case. The lower courts had quashed the case, they had thrown it out. The case reached the Supreme Court, and it was the Supreme Court which called for all the records, reinstated the matter, and also laid down, they gave the definition of modesty. They reprimanded the High Court judge and said, this cannot be treated as something trivial. All the people in every household, this was the talk between husband and wife. The limelight was not on KPS Gill. The entire focus was on me. Why have I registered a case? Must be something wrong with me. I attended the proceedings of the trial throughout, along with my husband. But on the day the verdict came, I specially requested, I said, I don't want to go there. KPS Gill was expecting to win, so they had the police band there. And then my husband's driver rang up and said, Madam, he has been convicted on both counts. It's the mindset I fought against. I never fought against KPS Gill. I fought against the mindset of a society. People have started saying now offenses against women are increasing. They are increasing. No. Now more women are speaking up.
So this was the first case in 1988. She says she has registered, and she has fought for 17 years at that time. So this case gave the definition for modesty, outraging the modesty of women. Okay, so it's a very important case. Next slide, sir. So see, POSH Act was implemented only in the year 2013. So this case came long before that. So it was one of the first cases in India, and KPS Gill was convicted for it. Next slide, sir. Next slide, sir. Okay, so now coming to POSH Act. Why we have to talk about POSH Act? This act provides protection for women against sexual harassment, and it outlines the procedures and what are the process you have to do when a complaint is received. Okay, so it is preventive and prohibitory. Why we are talking so much about the POSH Act is, it is a violation of fundamental rights. Fundamental right actually is envisaged in the Constitution. So it violates the fundamental right. How it violates fundamental right is, like, we have a right to life, we have a right to work, we have a right to practice any profession. Okay, and we have a right for dignity also. So all these things are violated. So they are saying this POSH Act is the sexual harassment is actually violation of fundamental rights. So one more important thing why this act is very important is, like, what happens is, like, India is, you all know, is part of the United Nations. It's a member of United Nations. So what exactly this United Nations does is, it will have a lot of conventions in different topics like climate change, drug abuse, all these things. We will have conventions, we all know. Similarly, we had one convention in 1993 with regard to this sexual harassment in workplace, and protecting with regards to human rights. Elimination of all form of discrimination against women was the topic. So India participated in that convention, and one of the decision taken by that convention was to enact a law to protect women who are facing sexual harassment in workplace. So India, being a party of that convention, it was advised to come back to the country and enact a law for that. So based on this convention also, we were supposed to enact a law. So these were the reason why the POSH Act came. Next slide, please. There was also another important reason, which I will also tell you. One important case, you see, in our country, we have never been proactive. Only if the very important incident happens, only then. Like, for example, if you have somebody falling in children falling in this thing, no, like, we never close it, or we never protect the children. Only after somebody is falling inside the pit, we will go and rescue them. Similar to that, many incidents happen only then this POSH Act, because there is a lot of gap, nearly a decade after this convention to 2030. So I already told you, we have this fundamental rights to protect, and this act, actually, this sexual harassment violates this act. Next slide, sir. So before going to that, I already told you that we have something in our state before this act. In 1998, an act was passed in Tamil Nadu, which is called Prevention of Sexual Harassment in Public Places Act. Okay, generally where we face sexual harassment, we face in college, public transport, public places, workplace, online, and family. Even in family, it is reported. You must be knowing all those things. So, for example, in public transport like buses, train, even in, like, ships, this act covers public places like mall, theater, or places of worship. This act is covering. Okay, and also these days online is also covered. Okay, what you have a very interesting case for this also. And you must all be aware of this case. It is called Sarika Shah case, which happened in 1998. A Ethraj College student who was an English literature student was dropped by her father before the entrance of the Ethraj College, and she joined a group of her classmates and was entering the campus through the entrance when an auto rickshaw came very close to her. In that auto rickshaw, there was three Pachapas College students who suddenly got down and pulled her dupatta. She didn't expect that situation. So she lost balance and she fell down. Actually, there was an electric pole nearby when she fell down, and her head directly hit the electric pole. She got severe head injury and she was rushed to Polo Hospital. And she was in a coma for 10 days and lost her life. Now, the situation came when the Tamil Nadu government didn't have any sections to file a case. For example, if you take, see, he has not done any crime. He just pulled the dupatta. Okay, he has not physically harmed her, and he didn't have any intention to actually injure her. Okay, it's a sort of sudden provocation, or like something like that. So the government got confused and the police got confused under what section of the IPC you can file a case in this act. So then came this act. So in this act, what they are saying, any sexual harassment, any sort of harassment like this, which is happening in a public, because it didn't happen inside the college campus, outside the campus, it has happened. So this act, usually if you see in most of the colleges, if there is any sexual harassment is being reported, the police generally file uh, uh, complaints, file FIR in this particular act. Only second thing is, the POSH Act comes. During the Corona time, if you remember, there were 2-3 colleges where the college students had reported that college lecturers, professors were, sending text which was sexually colored remarks. All those complaints were registered under this act. So I thought you should be aware of this act also. Next slide, please. So I told you, no, this is park, beach, public service vehicle or vessel, bus stop, road, anywhere. This within the presence of any educational institutions, this act is sexual harassment complaint can be entertained in this act. Next slide, sir. So recently you would have known that after this Anna University cases, laws have been tightened. Okay, so this act has an amendment. So this is what I took this thing from Sun News. See, if sexual harassment, sexual assault happens, earlier it was 10 years, now it has been extended to 14 years. Sexual harassment by close relatives or police official, earlier it was 10 years, now it has been increased to 20 years. Sexual harassment for the girl child below 12 years, it has been extended to life or death. And பாலியல் வன்புணர்ச்சி மற்றும் மரணத்தை விளைவிக்கும், like till see that sexual hazard which leads to death, also it's life imprisonment. For gang rape, it is death. And repeated offenders, we call habitual offenders in sexual assault, it is death. And very importantly, sexual harassment which is happening in colleges and all those things, earlier it was 3 years, now it has been increased to 5 years. And also another major thing is, like, stalking has been included now. Stalking, somebody following up a person, now they have added this particular section, and it has been made 5 years. Repeated second time, it is 7 years. And acid attack, it is now 10 years, life imprisonment or death. So this actually has, the governor has given assent, and it has been sent to the president. So once the president signs this amendment, then this Tamil Nadu Prevention of Sexual Harassment Act is now having these all these things which can be which in which we can file a complaint. Next slide, sir. The same thing which I have given in English. So particularly for our our jurisdiction, we can say see that sexual harassment, which earlier was 3 years, now has been the punishment has been increased to 5 years, and stalking 3 to 5 years, acid attack, life or death sentence. Okay. So this we have to actually seriously take into consideration. Next slide, please. So, as I already told you, the president, it has been sent to the bill has been sent to the president for acceptance. Once it is accepted, it has becomes law. Next slide, sir. So, while we are talking about POSH, see, Chennai, according to our later reports, Chennai in India is safest city. Of course, now we have recently faced 2, 3 sexual harassment cases, but apart from that, among the cities in in India, Chennai is supposed to be the safest city. And also one important thing why we have to know about POSH Act is in Tamil Nadu, number of women employed in factories is 6,55,000. This is last month report which I have taken. So what the Supreme Court is now telling is implementing POSH Act and having IC committee is mandatory according to a landmark judgment in a Goa case in the month of May. The government the Supreme Court has instructed the government to have IC committees and LC committees in place in all the government departments. Okay, it is because, like a lot of women are getting employed, and their women's safety is of priority now these days. Next slide, please. So I was talking about this act, this act also has a particular history before, enacting this act. See, in 1992, what had happened is there was a particular woman by name Banwari Devi. She is a village level social worker. Her job is to go to all the village surrounding her village to stop child marriage. You all know that in Rajasthan, there are a lot of child marriages happening even now. Okay. So what she did is, in a particular incident, she came to know that a child marriage is happening in a particular village, in a very influential community called Gujar community. So she went and stopped the wedding. She alerted the child welfare committee, and all the officials, government officials came, and they said if you continue the marriage, you'll all get arrested. So they stopped the wedding. It was a very influential. It was spent very luxurious manner. They were conducting the wedding. So it was heavy financial loss for the bride's father. So they all got very angry with that lady because she had stopped the wedding. So immediately after that, in the afternoon, they went to her home and, gang raped her. 4, 5 men went to her house. And this incident happened in broad daylight before her husband. She, being a brave woman, she just went to the police station to give a complaint. Unfortunately, in 1992 in Rajasthan, the police was delaying the filing of FIR, and she was waiting till the evening, sitting in the police station to file an FIR. Then the medical examination is one more trauma for her. So nobody was willing to do a medical examination, and finally she was examined only by a the male doctor, and she got the report. Then came another stage of ordeal. She was fighting her own case all alone in the lower court, then in in Rajasthan High Court. So in the Rajasthan High Court, when she was sitting in a particular court hall, and her case was going on, in the next court hall there was an NGO which came and was asking the facts of this case. So they were asking Banwari Devi what had happened, why she is fighting this case. So she had explained, see, I'm a social worker, I was doing my job, and I was raped, gang raped. Then there was a lot of questions. Why the state of Rajasthan didn't help her? Because she didn't do something, something personal. It was her job. Her job is to go and stop child marriages. It was her official duty which she was doing. It was the duty of her employer to protect her. Either they should have given her some compensation, they should have given her some medical relief, or they should have given her some legal support. Nothing was given by the state of Rajasthan. So what this NGO did is they filed a public interest litigation before the Supreme Court, questioning why the state of Rajasthan as an employer didn't do anything. So when the Supreme Court bench came to know about this case, they just went through the case and they laid out the Visakha guidelines. That is actually the backbone. Originally, we used to call this ICC committee as Visakha committee. So what was given by the Supreme Court in that case is what an employer has to do when they have this, when they receive a complaint about sexual harassment. What is mandatory? All these things are laid down in the Visakha guidelines, which is actually the backbone of this POSH Act. But you see, this judgment came in 1997, but nothing happened till 2012. You know why? Because they were not bothered about women empowerment or anything like that. Only after Nirbhaya case happened in 2012, we had this sea of changes. There was a lot of social awakening. See, women, we were going out, we are not having any security when we go out and when we reach our home, all these things happen. So only after that, all this acid attack, they started changing the laws. IPC was actually, a lot of sections were added, like stalking, acid attack, voyeurism, where, somebody is recording a video, what is happening now, without the knowledge of the person, what section. If before that, if some girl is going to the college, somebody is following her, we go to the police station, என்ன சொல்லுவாங்க போலீஸ் ஸ்டேஷன் போனா, என்னம்மா பின்னாடி தானே வரா, பரவாயில்ல விட்டுருங்க, இதுக்கெல்லாம் எஃப்ஐஆர் எல்லாம் ஃபைல் பண்ண முடியாது, அவனை அமிச்சிட்டு நாங்க திட்டி அமிச்சிடுறோம். So all these things, even if acid, somebody is threatening to throw acid, if you go to the police station, you don't have any remedy in the police station. They will not file any FIR because there is no particular section for filing FIR. This was happening before 2012. Only now they have updated everything. So next slide, sir. So actually முக்கியமா பாத்தீங்கன்னா இந்த செக்ஷுவல் ஹராஸ்மெண்ட்ல என்ன முக்கியமானா, என்ன செக்ஷுவல் ஹராஸ்மெண்ட்னா என்னன்னு டிஃபைன் பண்ணிருக்காங்க. So அது we have to clearly understand. Okay, so what is sexual harassment? Any unwelcome advance which is sexual in nature. Impact is what matters, not intent. Often it occurs in the matrix of power and subjective experience. It can be direct or by implication. Now, I will just explain to you. Unwelcome advance. இது பிசிக்கல் டச்சா தான் இருக்கணும், பிசிக்கலி உங்களை ஹராஸ் பண்ணணும் அப்படிலாம் அவசியமே கிடையாது. இட்ஸ் அன்வெல்கம். எனிதிங் which you are not feeling comfortable, you are not happy with the way of reaction, even the body language or whatever it is, any unwelcome advance which should be in sexual nature. Okay, it has to have that sexual touch in that. Okay, and impact is what matters, not intent. So நிறைய கேசஸ்ல நீங்க பாத்தீங்கன்னா, நான் அந்த மாதிரி எனக்கு இன்டென்ஷனே இல்ல மேடம், நான் just it was an accidental thing. What this act says is intention is not important. How it affects the girl is very important. So impact is what matters, not intent. So you have to see whether how it has affected the girl. That is very important. Often it occurs in the matrix of power. நீங்க ஒரு ஆஃபீஸ் என்விரான்மெண்ட் எடுத்துட்டீங்கன்னா, ப்ராஜெக்ட் மேனேஜர், டீம் லீட், அந்த மாதிரி இல்ல ஒரு கவர்மெண்ட் ஆஃபீஸ் எடுத்துட்டீங்கன்னா, ஒரு ஹையர் அஃபிஷியல் டு த லோவர் கேடர். காலேஜ் என்விரான்மெண்ட் எடுத்துட்டீங்கன்னா ஹெச்ஓடி, அந்த மாதிரி இது. ஸோ what this act says is often it occurs only in that matrix of power. And subjective experience. What do you mean by subjective experience? No? That what that girl feels, அந்த பொண்ணு என்ன ஃபீல் பண்றான்றது தான் முக்கியம் அப்படின்னு that சொல்லுது. Subjective experience, it can be direct or by implication. அதாவது அது டைரக்டாவும் நடக்கலாம் or through somebody. For example, ஒரு மேனேஜர் லெவல்ல இருக்காங்கன்னா, he will send his agent, சார் ஆபீஸ்ல உங்களை 8 மணி வரைக்கும் வேலை செய்ய சொன்னாரு, நீங்க இருக்கிறீங்களா, சாரோட உங்களை கார்ல ஏறி வர சொன்னாரு அப்படின்னு through agents or through somebody else, it can be it can happen or it can happen directly. So next slide, please. So what sexual harassment includes is physical contact. First is physical contact or advance. Somebody who's coming very close to you, somebody who's trying to go through you, touching you, or something like that. You know, in one particular case, in an office environment, the boy was touching the girl's earring and saying, "Oh, this is looking nice." She said, "Don't touch, I'm feeling uncomfortable." Okay, that also amounts to sexual harassment. Demand for sexual famous. நீ இது பண்ணாதான் நான் இது பண்ணுவேன், நீ எனக்கு வந்து இந்த மாதிரி அட்ஜஸ்ட் பண்ணிக்கிட்டாதான் நான் உன்னோட ப்ராஜெக்டை கிளியர் பண்ணுவேன். You accompany me to the conference, I will do this for you. All this demand for sexual favor is a sexual harassment. Making sexual remarks. Okay, so for last week there was a case in which an FIR has been filed in HCL company. That superior, what he did, you know, he was asking for the periods date of the girl. And one more person, he was asking her, telling her, she's smelling good. Okay, so these are all personal statements which are sexual color. Okay, so anything which has the sexual contact is, you know, it's a sexual harassment. Also showing pornographic material, anything which is physical, verbal, non-verbal, which is of sexual nature, is sexual harassment. This is the entire definition given in the Act. Okay, so next slide, please. So feeling the difference, how will that particular girl who's facing sexual harassment will feel? See, if it is a behavior, she'll feel it is very indecent. She will feel bad. She will feel powerless because it is happening in the power matrix. If the superior is doing something, touching unwantedly, putting the hand in the shoulders, or, you know, in an office environment, particular handshake has a timing, you know, any handshake beyond 30 seconds, you will feel uncomfortable and it amounts to sexual harassment. Okay, and also it is illegal, it is one-sided. You see, somebody is complimenting what you have done is, for example, you are dressed well in a particular, you're going to the office. Somebody is saying, "Oh, you're looking good today." It's a nice compliment which you can actually reciprocate. ஆனா, "Hey, you're looking very sexy in this dress." அப்படின்னா நீங்கள் உங்களால அதை ரெசிப்ரோகேட் பண்ண முடியாது. What you'll reciprocate, you will feel very awkward in a particular scenario. That is sexual harassment. Okay, so sad and angry particular incident is what you feel, you know, when somebody has done something, and actually it is a negative self. It will give you a negative self-esteem. Actually, in the longer run, the productivity of the person in a working environment, she'll feel very depressed. She will not work. He will feel very offended. Adanala, what now the corporates are doing is they are saying if anybody is doing the sexual harassment, they are sending out, because it takes a lot of money and time for them to recruit a particular person. Imagine a software company, a particular project in a particular skill set is happening, recruit பண்றாங்க, அந்த ரெக்ரூட்மெண்ட்கே அவங்களுக்கு அவ்வளவு காஸ்டிங் ஆகுது. கொண்டு வந்து வச்சா இப்போ செக்ஷுவல் ஹராஸ்மெண்ட்னு சொல்லிட்டு அதை ரிசைன் பண்ணிட்டு போயிட்டா இட்ஸ் ஃபுல்லி கம்ப்ளீட்லி, யூனோ, தட் அமௌண்ட், த டைம் அண்ட் எனர்ஜி இஸ் லாஸ்ட். ஸோ they are not tolerating any sexual harassment. A lot of companies have come with zero tolerance. So this actually indirectly affects the productivity in a lot of organizations. So they are not tolerating this sexual harassment. Next slide, please. So next slide. Yeah. So now you know that IPCLA, they have changed now. They have updated and changed. So we have to know little bit of this. For handling these type of cases, we have to know little bit of this. IPC has been changed to Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, and CRPC has been changed to Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha Sanhita, and Bharatiya Sakshi Adhinayanam is changed to Indian Evidence Act. இது ரொம்ப காம்ப்ளிகேட்டட் இல்ல. நம்ம what we require is, I'm going to give you a small gist of that. So we can, if any student is coming out with some complaints like that, how to handle the situation, you should know something about the law. Next slide, please. So, Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, actually it's a 163-year-old law which has been changed to this. Earlier we had 511 sections, now it has been constrained to 358. இதுல முக்கியமா ஒரு section வந்து it has been added to this new this thing. This section 69. Anybody having sexual intercourse by employing deceitful means, like false promise to marry, false promise to employment or promotion, inducement, or marrying by suppressing identity is non-bailable offense with punishment up to 10 years. நான் உனக்கு வேலை வாங்கி தரேன், உனக்கு சீட்டு வாங்கி தரேன், உனக்கு இந்த PhD இது உனக்கு ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி தரேன் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு செக்ஷுவலி எக்ஸ்ப்ளாய்ட் பண்றது, இல்லாட்டி ஃபால்ஸ் ப்ராமிஸ் ஃபார் மேரேஜ், ஐ வில் மேரி யூ, like that. If they tell and they marry, I mean they fail to marry, they exploit the girl, then this section comes into force. This is non-bailable, you can't come out in bail, and 10 years of imprisonment. Okay, this has been added now. Next section, next slide please. So if you see பாரதிய நியாய சாட்சி அதிகாரம், very important என்ன இதுல பண்ணிருக்காங்கன்னா, earlier actல you don't have this electronic evidence is not acceptable. Like WhatsApp screenshots, anything, anybody is abusing a girl online or any video thing, you have a very big process where you have to go to the forensic department, get it approved. All this process was there. Now it has been simplified. One important thing. Second thing is, if the victim is, so for example, நீங்க இப்போ நிறைய கேசஸ் நீங்க இப்போ பாத்தீங்கன்னா, இப்போ அண்ணா யூனிவர்சிட்டி மேட்டர் எடுத்துக்கிட்டீங்கன்னா, that girl was admitted in the hospital and the accused was caught and she was going through treatment. The police, through video conferencing, showed the accused person and said, இதான் அந்த பையனா, confirm பண்ணுங்க. So the confirmation was got and her signature was got. So this thing is approved by now the Evidence Act, and also protection is there. And also, if the victim is going through treatment or she is in some state of depression or something like that, she don't have to come to the court to give statement. She can actually give, there can be, her voice can be recorded or audio, video, visually. You can actually produce that evidence in the court. So that is one major change which we have to know in the Evidence Act they have brought in. Next slide, sir. So, Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha Sanhita, actually this is CRPC. What you have to know is, like, FIR has to be, given within 45 days, or the timeline has been changed. And one more thing is about the zero FIR. You can have, if any person is facing any sexual harassment anywhere, she can go to the nearest police station and can file a complaint. She don't have to, இப்போ வந்து எப்படி யூஸ்வலா உங்களுக்கு ஜூரிஸ்டிக்ஷன் எப்படி வரும்னா, பிளேஸ் ஆஃப் அக்கரன்ஸ் தான் they will take as a jurisdiction. So the place of occurrence ரொம்ப இன்னொரு பிளேஸ்ல இருந்ததுன்னா, if she can, for example, she is facing a sexual harassment in Bangalore, she came through flight here and she was feeling awkward about the thing, she can very well go here and file a FIR here. But practically how it is going to work out என்றது இனிமே தான் நம்ம பார்க்க போறோம் actually. Next slide, sir. So I was talking about Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. What, sections, you can note down the sections if you want. Section 79 says, this Bajaj was telling about the modesty, that is 504 she was telling. Word, gesture or act intended to insult the modesty of a woman. Talking about the modesty of women. So any act or gesture or word which is affecting the modesty of women or intrudes upon the privacy of such woman shall be punished with simple imprisonment for a term which may extend to 1 year or fine or both. See, please mind it. This POSH Act is applicable not for, men facing sexual harassment cannot give a complaint in this. Only a female facing sexual harassment can give a complaint in this. And another female who's, making some statement is can be a respondent. அதாவது, for example, நான் உங்களுக்கு ஒரு situation, I will tell you a situation. What happens? See, you are getting a promotion. So one of your colleague who was supposed to get the promotion did not get. In a college environment, if you want to ask, maybe you are in assistant professor cadre and you are given an associate professor position. There was some other person who actually was also in the line of that, though she was not shortlisted. If she, for example, goes out and tells everybody, I know how she got promotion. She was very close with the dean. That's why she got this promotion. In such cases, that also amounts to sexual harassment because it outrages the modesty of that woman. Please mind it, that is also sexual harassment. If a particular girl is going and giving a harassment complaint and somebody is telling, I have seen her with roaming with lot of men, only because of that she does that particular incident has happened. That is outraging the modesty of women. Okay, so we have to understand the definition of outrage. உங்களுடைய கௌரவத்திற்கும் உங்களுடைய இதுக்கும் பாதுகாப்புக்கும் பங்கம் விளைவிக்கும் மாதிரி அந்த சிச்சுவேஷன் இருந்தா தட் இஸ் கால்ட் outraging the modesty. Okay, so section 75 exactly fits in for sexual harassment, which was earlier 354. A man committing any of the following acts: physical contact or advances, a demand or request for sexual favors, showing pornographic material against the will of the women, making physical colored remarks, may be physical, verbal or non-verbal, shall be punished for 3 years, which was earlier. Now, in Tamil Nadu, they have extended it 5 years. Next slide, sir. So this is called voyeurism, which is very important. Voyeurism is nothing but capturing the image or video of a woman engaged in a private act without the knowledge of the person. The punishment is 3 years. Okay, if in a restroom in a college or would have heard during last 2 years before, DMK counselor or a lady counselor who had gone to a restaurant in Chengalpet, was having food and she wanted to use the restroom. She saw something in the exhaust fan. So she immediately came and alerted her son, who went and took somebody was, recording what is happening in the women restroom. Immediately, police was alerted and one of the employee had kept the mobile phone there. Also in, departmental stores or, like the woman cloth shop or something like that, changing room or trial room, all these things come under this, this thing. And also, what had happened in Anna University also, without the knowledge of that girl, he has taken the film. That also comes under this section. Okay, so any man who watches or captures the image of a woman engaged in a private act shall be punished. I will tell you another case also. In Kanyakumari, there was a bank, there was a cashier. Okay, he got married, and his wife observed within a week that he is having one room locked and he is not allowing her inside that room. And he was acting very strangely. He's going there, knocking in that room for several hours or like that. So she was very restless. When he went to the office, somehow she managed to get the key and opened the room and saw around 10 mobile phones there. When she opened the phone and saw, there was a lot of compromising, horrible videos there in the mobile phone. She immediately downloaded around 10 to 20 videos, and she straightly went home and told her parents that this boy is not good. I don't want to live with him. And also, if I tell to my mother-in-law, they will kill me. So she went together with her parents. She went and gave a complaint. That man was arrested immediately and found later that the cashier who was working in that particular nationalized bank, whoever ladies who are coming for self-help group getting loan, well, any lady who are single or very very much in financial constraint, he will say, if you want this loan, you have to come with me to the lodge. We will record that video and exploit them further. So when she called several ladies who are in the video, they said, நாங்க என்னம்மா பண்றது, நாங்க ரொம்ப கஷ்டத்துல இருக்கோம், இவர் தான் லோன் கொடுக்கணும், இவர் இந்த மாதிரி பண்றாரு. So he was actually, they have downloaded, he had around 100 videos or something like that. So he was immediately arrested and the case is going on. So these type of acts, come under voyeurism. Stalking. A man, section 78, follows a woman and contacts or attempts to contact despite clear indication by the woman. See, that person should say, no, please don't follow me. In spite of the clear instruction, if the person contacts, follows her, then it is stalking. Or monitoring the woman via internet, email or any other form of electronic. Even following, Instagram follow pandrathu, Facebook follow pandrathu, all these things are stalking. That is called cyber stalking. Okay, so punishment is 3 years for that. So that is also sexual harassment. Next slide, sir. So we were all talking about consent. See, sexual harassment பத்தி நம்ம discuss பண்ணும்போது, I hope I can speak both in English and Tamil for everybody's better understanding. Free consent is a very important thing in the definition. I tried this. I kissed her because she said yes for that. Ma'am, he came with me, was willing, and she came with me. She didn't protest. So there's nothing wrong. All these things will come when you handle particular cases. So you should understand that consent is very important. So silence cannot be construed as a consent. First thing, if a person is calm, you cannot take it as a yes. And consent can be withdrawn at any point of time during interaction. For example, I will give you a small incident. In office environment, imagine there is a deadline for work. So, நாளைக்கு ஏதோது ஒரு complete some deadline for finance company னே எடுத்துக்கிட்டீங்கன்னா, so auditing March 31st we have to complete. So the girl is made to work till 9:30, 10. So it has become late. So the senior person says, okay, it got late, I will drop you. So he is taking her in the car. Okay, so she said yes for that. So she got inside the car. So while traveling, he puts his hand between her thighs. Imagine, this is the situation. So how she will handle it? She has given only consent to travel with him, but not, meddle with her. Okay, so what she will be doing? She can withdraw her consent. Sir, stop the car. I want to get down. You can go through this very important case which happened in 2021. DGP Rajesh Das Gupta case. I think you must all be aware of this case. I will tell you, like, it was in the May month when Edappadi Palaniswamy sir was the chief minister. Okay, it was during the election campaign. So the protocol is that when the chief minister is going for election campaign, DGP intelligence has to go along with them. So Rajesh Das Gupta, who was head of intelligence, was accompanying the chief minister in the car behind Edappadi sir. Okay, when they were traveling, what is the protocol is each district SP is supposed to give the intelligence report. So they just left Chennai. Then next they went to Chengalpet. After Chengalpet, SP gave the report. Then came Viluppuram. Viluppuram was a young IPS women officer, was just, taking charge there, and she was there. She was reporting to DGP, head of intelligence. Immediately what he did is, he asked her to get inside the car. So she thought it is something official. So she got inside the car. Then he immediately asked the driver to put romantic songs. So the driver started the song. Then what she did is he he coolly started holding her hands. She was feeling very uncomfortable. She said she just immediately gave the direction to the director, stop the car. She got out the car. Then she said, I'm going to report this to Chief Secretary. Okay. So what she did is she immediately started going to Chennai. So Rajesh Das Gupta immediately informed the SP of Chengalpet to stop her from going to Chennai. But somehow she pushed the SP and went to the secretariat and gave a complaint to the chief secretary. Not only that, she gave a complaint directly to the PMO office because she had some of her colleagues from the IS academy working in PMO's office. Directly, they gave the direction came from the PMO office to look into the matter. So DGP was immediately suspended pending inquiry. So why I am referring this case is the consent can be withdrawn at any moment of time. So you can't give a free consent. It's a consent you can't just consent given during unsound mind or during some party where alcohol is served, a girl has taken that and she's in a semi-conscious state, or a person who's sleeping is not a valid consent. There is one more case in Officers Training Academy. What had happened 2 years ago, there was a party for persons who have finished the training. So that particular female cadet had taken alcohol. She went inside the room, but since she had the effect of alcohol, she failed to latch her door. Okay, so it was mildly open. So one of her colleague who saw the door open went inside and raped her. Okay, she gave a next day, she gave a complaint. They have their own court martial, they have their own jurisdiction, but nothing happened there. So she came out and she filed a complaint to the police. Only after police interfering, they immediately started taking action, and the particular individual who had raped her was arrested. So this is one more thing for not consent given during unsound mind. And also consent given during quid pro quo. We say that fear of retaliation. If you are not consenting for this, you will lose your job. I will not give you promotion. All these things, consent got through this sort of fear or something like that is not valid consent. So this thing, we have to go through all these things before analyzing this particular case. Next slides. So this is fully, ma'am, நீங்க இதெல்லாம் பார்த்துக்கோங்க. எல்லா ஆக்ட்ஸும், எல்லா செக்ஷுவல் ஹராஸ்மெண்ட் ஆக்ட்ஸும் இதுக்குள்ள வந்துரும். Like you can go through it. What physical sexual harassment is sexual harassment பார்த்துக்கோங்க. Touching, patting, stroking, hugging, kissing, or attempting to do so, standing extremely close, making unwelcome physical contact, like pulling the dupatta, pulling the sari, pinching, or anything like that is unwelcome physical contact. Brushing against someone, attempting to block the path. நீங்க வந்து சுப்பீரியர் வந்து கூப்பிடுறாங்க, இல்ல ஒரு காலேஜ் ஸ்டூடெண்ட வந்து ஸ்டாஃப் ரூம்ல ப்ரொஃபசர் கூப்பிடுறாங்க. So the college student is going. Somebody is trying to block the path. That is sexual harassment. Even if she's saying, remove, give me a way. In spite of that, if somebody is blocking, it is sexual harassment. Verbally, what you can do? Suggestive. I know about that girl. She's of loose character. Something like that is sexual harassment. Sexual colored remarks. You're looking sexy. You're smelling good. All these things are sexual harassment. Jokes. Jokes சொல்றேன், sex jokes சொல்றது. Talking behind, innuendos is talking behind a particular person, gossiping about a person behind, about her character is sexual harassment. Comments on a person's body is sexual. You have to be extremely careful. Body shaming is something different, doesn't come under sexual harassment, but something which is sexual colored body shaming is this comes under POSH Act. talking about particular clothing like jeans. இந்த ட்ரெஸ் நீ அடிக்கடி போட்டு வாமா, டிரான்ஸ்பரண்டா சூப்பரா இருக்கு அப்படின்னு. அப்புறம் வந்து talking about that HCL matter, he was asking the size of the bra of one of the employee. That amounts to sexual harassment. Having a physical of part of the body, talking about that is sexual harassment. Attempting to foster a personal or intimate relationship, like, trying to, become very friendly, which that girl is not comfortable, is sexual harassment. And comments questions of a sexual nature of a person's private life. See, for example, I will tell you a situation. A particular student is newly married. He's coming to the college after 1 week, and everybody is asking about her personal married life. See, up to how was your marriage? How is your husband? There stops the talking. Beyond that, if it is very awkward, it comes under sexual harassment. Okay, nobody has any talk about the personal life of another individual body. Sexual orientation, this applies to transgenders. Mind it, trans women they come under POSH Act, not trans men. A male who feels that they are women and they change their physical thing to a woman, trans women, they come under POSH Act. A female who thinks that she's a man and performs surgery and looks like a man, they don't come under this act. So please remember, trans women come under POSH Act. Okay. So talking about their sexual abilities, நீங்க என்ன பையனுக்கு அட்ராக்ட் ஆவீங்களா, பொண்ணுக்கு அட்ராக்ட் ஆவீங்களா, all these conversations, which is very offending, is sexual harassment. Asking for offering sexual favors or interact. One particular case, Bangalore, there was a conversation. Official sales ரெண்டு பேர் பேசிட்டு இருந்தாங்க. So suddenly after the official work, that girl had a room. Can we go and become intimate? Can we do that? Abdin director, the boy asked, which amounts to sexual harassment. Okay, so non-verbal, whatever is sexual harassment, whistling, showing heart symbol. Okay, so all this winking, all these gestures, or showing some sort of body movement, all these things are sexual harassment. In graphic form, smiling. See, in online, any communication after 10 o'clock is not encouraged. And தூங்கிட்டியா அப்படின்னு அனுப்புறது, are you alone அனுப்புறது, I couldn't get sleep after seeing you அனுப்புறது, sexual harassment. So you have to be very particular about this, gestures and this graphic form, smileys அனுப்புறது. Staring, leading, looking person up and down. We are women, we all know that பார்வையை வச்சே கண்டுபிடிச்சிருவோம் how decent that look is. So but the person who's looking differently up and down is sexual harassment. Stalking, following around, showing or displaying pornographic or erotic or obscene material. I generally advise, when I go to the corporates, when they have their own cabin, I tell them, don't have screensavers with nude pictures, don't have statues or anything with nude pictures, banners or posters, anything. Medically it's okay, but other than that, any erotic pictures is not allowed. It amounts to sexual harassment. Displaying of pictures, signs, objects, anything, weight, pen, whatever, it has to be clean. If you are in an office environment, you have to handle everything in a professional way. Taking pictures, video, especially of a person's body parts without their knowledge is, offense. It is a sexual harassment. Sending text, audio, visual image, or content having sexual connotation, O-tones is sexual harassment. Inappropriate background painting, posters, screensavers is sexual harassment. Unwarranted messages, calls, video calls, request at odd hours is sexual harassment. Anything which is creating uncomfortable environment, work environment, is sexual harassment. So this thing is elaborate. Whatever complaint you receive has to fall into all these things. Okay, so next slide, sir. So this act says which organization comes under POSH Act. All government organization, private organization, hospital, nursing homes, all institutions, sports stadium, sports complex, games venue, any places visited by the employee during the course of employment. See, for example, you're sending your students for some medical camp, you're sending some students for a conference, and your student is coming back and complaining they face some sexual harassment. All these things come under in the definition of workplace. Okay, so for example, in a medical camp, some patient is misbehaving, some person, their organizing person is making a sexual colored remarks. It is a workplace. Also in the buses, nursing colleges, buses, uh, whatever is, that is also considered as workplace. If a girl is entering the college bus, then this POSH Act immediately gets activated. So remember that college tours, seminars, any visits professionally, all are they all come under the definition of workplace. Next, please. Next slide, please. So in the workplace, like you come under definition of workplace, office, canteen, office cab, which you can say, your college bus, on business tours, conference, office party, any festival. You have any Christmas festival, New Year festival, or any Deepavali festival, or somebody is getting promotion, you have a celebration, some party in the office, you have your college has achieved something, you have a get together, all these things. If anybody is facing any harassment, then it is comes under the definition of workplace. Parking area. If you remember correctly, after the Arjigar case, there was an incident reported in Tamil Nadu where a duty doctor, when she came out, that particular mentally disturbed person, they say, he just stood nude before her. Okay, so she was screaming and this thing. So that is a definition of, because it happened in the parking area, it comes under the definition of workplace. So, and also online virtual. Idhila kuda, if there is any indecent behavior, it comes under sexual harassment. For example, if you remember this Padma Seshadri case, even though it comes under POCSO, I want to tell you, in that particular case, what had happened is that particular master maths teacher used to wear a small towel in his hip. He used to come and sit, and he used to take class, and many of the students were feeling uncomfortable for him sitting in a bare body in an online session. So sexual harassment is not only physical, all these activities also come under sexual harassment. Next slide, please. So definition of employee, this act is giving, they have covered everybody: permanent, temporary, contract, interns, trainees, housekeeping staff, clients, patients. So in your case, it can be patients. Daily basis, whoever is coming. Daily basis, who will be coming? Maybe, some courier person, some, coffee delivery person, or maybe Zomato or Swiggy person. Whoever is coming or disturbing anybody, they can be, you can file a complaint against them under this act. Ad hoc employees also, they come under the definition of employee in this act. Next slide, sir. So what generally I say when any person faces sexual harassment is, first thing they say, you should give that thing to your students or everybody, your children. First, they have to say no. I am not happy with your behavior. I'm not comfortable with your behavior. See, behave properly. That is the first thing you have to tell. Then, if he is not listening, then you have to get alert. See, any case if you file, just plain complaint will not work. As a lawyer, I'm telling you, you have to give evidence. So, for giving evidence, you have gather evidence. So, anybody is sending some strange messages, take a screenshot and keep it. Anybody is sending a voice message, talking awkward, have a backup. If in a particular situation, any sort of sexual harassment, immediately you have a witness. Then after gathering all these things, you have to raise a complaint either to HR or report it to internal committee. Okay, generally I give this advice to whenever I go for a training. Uh, Please do not discuss any personal issue in an office environment. You might be single, you might be a divorcee, or you might be going through very tough personal life, or you might be in a financial constraint or anything like that. It can be very well misused by your colleague or by any staff, and for exploiting sexually. So it is better we be very careful when we are talking about our personal life. Next slide, please. So, how to avoid sexual harassment in workplace? Female colleagues should be treated with respect. Power and position should not be misused. All behaviors with sexual undertone shall be avoided. If the desire is not reciprocated, see, everybody has a right to express their love or anything like that. See, in a college environment, I just want to tell you this. I'm handling a lot of cases in office also. There is a lot of this broken relationship which is coming under sexual harassment. Okay, I have handled a lot of cases like that. ரெண்டு பேர் லவ் பண்ணுவாங்க, அப்புறம் வந்து பிரேக்கப் ஆயிடும். அப்புறம் வந்து that girl will file sexual harassment complaint. So in that case, how would you have to handle that cases? No, see, if they are loving, they don't have to inform. If they have broken the relationship, it is their duty to come and tell that I have had relationship with this person and I broke up with it. See, if you receive a complaint, you won't know the background of the case, and we will be investigating without any knowledge. See, for example, when it will come under, I'll tell you a situation. Two people are in love. They are colleagues. Somehow something went wrong. They both broke. And that boy is consistently convincing her to continue the relationship. Now the girl goes and files a complaint. What you will do? Will you take it as a sexual harassment or not? It is a sexual harassment. See, her consent stops with her saying, I am not interested anymore. So after that, if he is still pursuing, she should say, please, I am not interested, leave me alone. In spite of that, if he is still pursuing that girl, then it amounts to sexual harassment, and you can definitely take action against that boy. So it is very, you have to handle each cases based on the background. So you have to analyze, understand that particular case and handle that particular situation. So if the desire is not reciprocated, professional connections outside the workplace should be avoided. If a female colleague employee shows a slightest hint of discomfort arising out of a conversation, behavior, joke by another colleague, it should be stopped completely. So for male employee, I generally tell, if somebody is not comfortable, if somebody is not okay with any behavior, they should immediately stop, because other than that, it will land up in trouble. Next slide. So I want to talk this act. What it says is about internal committee. I want to tell you about this. See, usually you have to, any organization, whether college or company or any organization which has more than 10 people working, immediately this act is active. So you have to form a IC committee. How you will form a IC committee? One will be the presiding officer. Anybody who's in a senior level in your organization, like a dean or a HOD, can be a presiding officer. One can be an employee, one can be a student representative, one can be a professor in the associate level, and you should have an external member. External member can be an NGO or it can be a women, and preferably most of the time it's only women. Either they can be an advocate with legal background or an NGO. So this is a minimum 4 people has to be there. When you're doing an investigation, definitely the presiding officer should be there and minimum of 3 people should be there. And also in the IC committee, 50% of the committee members should be female. This is what the law says. Okay. So next slide, please. So who can raise a complaint? This is a very important thing. See, the complaint has to be raised only by the affected person. Only the person who has been harassed can only raise the complaint. For example, like in the case of Anna University, she has been admitted in hospital, example, and she's going through treatment. She can't come out and file a complaint. So in that case, a relative or friend can file a complaint. Or no, Office of the National Commission of Women, State Commission of Women can file a complaint. For example, I will tell you one college situation. You all remember Kalakshatra College case. I hope you all remember that case. 2 years ago, it happened. So about 100 girls, they had a sit-in protest the whole night. Okay, because the IC committee was not effective. They were not listening to their plight. They've been sexually harassed by the dance teacher. Okay, by no, asking them to, like, அரமண்டில உட்கார இப்படி இடுப்பை இப்படி வச்சுக்கணும், கையை இப்படி வைக்கணும். So unwanted touch. And also, a Russian girl has filed an FIR from Russia. She has spent around 40 lakhs coming to India to learn Bharatanatyam. She was staying. So this dance teacher has sexually exploited her, saying, you have spent 40 lakhs, all will go waste. If you don't sleep with me, I'm not going to give you the degree. So she has to go through this ordeal. She went to Russia and she filed an online complaint. Okay. Nation Commission for Women came, it was not effective. Only the State Commission of Women, A.S. Kumari is now the presiding officer there. She went, she inquired all the girls. She submitted a 100-page report to the Madras High Court. Madras High Court took a sumoto case. She submitted 100-page report and in-camera proceedings happened. So those girls were called and was investigated in camera. In camera means others should not come inside. The media should not come inside. Okay, in camera proceedings. So this case is going on. So that one person is out on bail, one person is still in prison. Okay, so State Commission for Women can come, special educator, psychiatrist, psychologist. See, these cases happen when, a child who's autistic, see, these autistic people are employed in hotel industry in laundry sections. I've seen in Chola Sheraton and all. So imagine these girls are facing some harassment. They can't explain. In those cases, special educators or any person who's having a mental trauma or depression, psychologist, psychiatrist can give a complaint. Guardian, and most importantly, what the Act says is within 90 days of this incident, the complaint has to be filed. Please keep this in mind. 90 days is the time limit, but in extraordinary cases, in recent Madras Court judgment, they have relaxed the time limit, but generally it is 90 days. And please keep in mind, if you receive any anonymous complaint, you can't take up the case. It should be in writing by the aggrieved person. மொட்டக்கடிதாசி மாதிரி யாராவது போட்டாங்கன்னா ICC committee cannot take that case. Maybe the HR can investigate the matter, but IC committee doesn't have any powers to investigate if it is anonymous. Next slide, sir. So how it actually starts? If somebody is coming and giving a complaint, what is the process? Generally, நம்ம வந்து தெரிஞ்சுக்கிறது நல்லது. File a complaint with the IC committee or with the HR in a written form. The complaint copy must have the details of the incident, name of the harasser, his designation, department, date of the incident, time of the incident, and location of the incident. And should give the name of the witness if any. Okay. If there is any electronic evidence, screenshot of the messages or email copy. okay, should register the complaint within 6.
Mr. Tyagarajan, is there any problem?
Maybe the network issue, ma'am.
For the speaker?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Maybe we'll wait for some time.
Oh.
நீங்க அவங்க நம்பர் வச்சிருக்கீங்களா?
Yeah, no, ma'am. நான் இப்ப கால் பண்றேன்.
Oh, she has exited from the thing. So, dear madams and friends, please wait. Most probably the speaker will be able to join soon. I think she has got some internet connections, so she will be joining soon.
Hello everyone. I know I just spoke to her. There is some net connection. She is rejoining. I think quite interesting. You all agree with me. Came to know a lot of things. I thought I know about POSH Act, but I hope every one of you will agree with me. There are a lot of things we never knew. Even stalking at the back of a person is a crime, or sending WhatsApp messages, even coloring remarks. I think we need to educate our students in this, because they are the people who really goes and being with the community, with the patients. I think we need to know this, right? So I feel what you all think basically that is it needed for students, this post act to be taught? கொஞ்சம் ஓபன் பண்ணுங்க தியாகு, அன்மியூட் கொடுங்க தியாகு.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I think if we all think that we need to organize for students, அவங்க லெவல்ல இறங்கி, ஒரு vernacular language, I think we need to give it about the POSH Act. Because I feel, I hear a lot of things, okay? You principals come and tell me. Some of them very personally share with me a lot of things. So I think we need to really have to have this. So, உள்ள வந்துட்டாங்களா?
Not it, ma'am.
Not it.
I'm putting message in the group for this participants to wait for some time. So maybe Sudha continue பண்ணு கொஞ்சம், நான் வரேன் அவங்க கிட்ட இன்னொரு. Yes, ma'am.
Vidya ma'am is joining, ma'am.
Joining, okay,
Yes,
right, fantastic, okay.
Actually, nursing being a women-dominated profession, it is very important that all of us should know, ma'am. And moreover, we are empowering our students, and they also should know what is the problem when they go and be in the workplace. So it's a topic, it's a right time. It's we all hearing, ma'am.
I was just thinking, she was telling, நிறைய பேர் நம்மகிட்ட வருவாங்க, இன்னைக்கு you look ஏன்னா நம்ம ரொம்ப காமனா எடுத்துட்டு போயிடுவோம். அது எந்த சென்ஸ்ல யூ லுக் பிரிட்டின்னு சொல்றாங்கன்னு தெரியாது. இன்னைக்கு யூ லுக் ஸ்மெல் வெரி நைஸ்லின்னுவாங்க. இத வந்து ரொம்ப டேக்கன் இட் கிராண்டடா நம்ம எடுத்துட்டு போயிடுறோம்னு நினைக்கிறேன் நிறைய தரம். அது
And
சொல்றவங்கள பொறுத்தா இல்ல என்ன அப்படின்னு பாக்கணும்னு தோணுச்சு
ma'am,
எனக்கு
it's
ஆக்சுவலி.
also quite common, ma'am. The opposite gender wink at us. No, கண்ணாடி பார்க்க ma'am. அது கூட be a lot fun or it is something seriously we should note. அதெல்லாமே I'm just thinking when she was explaining all those signs or indications where we can literally take into the sexual harassment thing.
True, Sudha, true. Basically, what we do is like we know that we will not allow them beyond that limit, so we just sort of avoid and go. But maybe students may not know all these things, right?
Ma'am,
So they
it's
need to.
yeah, maybe ma'am, they might be ignoring or maybe they might be enjoying, ma'am, because they are very immature. They do not know with what intent, though she says it's only the impact, not the intent. But students may not realize the intention of the person who does. Otherwise,
true.
ma'am, when they send the messages, they don't tell, or maybe it is out of fear, or and moreover, ma'am, parents are more, conservative, and if they tell something, then they will start blaming the students, thinking that why did you, even at colleges principal, when such complaints comes, we immediately ask, why do you maintain interaction or having his number, why do you get involved yourself in such things? Blame the students not listening to your concerns. I think as a principals we need to try to understand the young generations, because they think it is their right, but usually when we grow up we don't think, whatever our parents say we just listen. And these students, current generation students, they think that having a boyfriend or it is their right. But I think it is more sensitive when we address. We have to be sensitive to the students feelings also, ma'am.
Yeah, true, true. I
See,
absolutely
very
agree with you.
important thing is, see, this is a social menace. Okay. So, usually what we do is we do a lot of victim blaming. நீ ஏன் அந்த டைம்க்கு போன? How, why you wore this dress? All these things we are doing. We actually can solve this issue only if we women come together, we understand the situation and we support each other. Only then we can solve this issue. See, if immediately we will tell, even in the family side, like if the daughter comes and says something, somebody is following, they'll say, you stop going to work, you stop going to, if she comes and says, I have some issue in the office, you stop, marry பண்ணி வச்சிடலாம். See, these things should not happen. See, we
one more thing,
support.
Vidya, I just understood this, like a girl says no. After that, also that guy continuously pressurizing her, no, you have to love me. That is also a POSH Act. I mean, it comes
Yes,
under
it is actually, I have handled that case. I have handled such case.
That is something very strange. I'm first time hearing that. So I think maybe if you could wrap up, because we want Q&A session with you a lot more. It's almost 1.5 hours. Okay.
Mostly in IT field, I'm handling a lot of this type of cases. What, like they will have relationship and they will break. So what in Hitachi, I have 2-3 cases like this. So what I have told the HR is that, see, if they are in love, they will not definitely reveal. See, two colleagues are in love, we won't know because they have their own understanding. But if they break up, definitely they should come and tell the HR. So I had a relationship with her, in Bangalore and all. They are I'm going to Bangalore to handle cases. So I specifically told the HR, I'll say that you just tell them if they are breaking the relationship, at least give some information, because that boy is talking, that boy is sending awkward messages to me, all this. And one case when the girl her marriage got fixed, the boy said, I will send all this indies photos which we took together. I will stop the wedding. So all these situations have come. So in these cases, if she can't go and tell her family that she was in relationship and all. So she has come and given the complaint to the HR. So he since he being a colleague, definitely HR can take action, IC committee can take action. So in that case, the case came to me and I said, see, you should have informed when you have broken the relationship. Suddenly, when there is issue is coming, how we can handle the situation? So we have to actually analyze the background background of the case. So he was given a warning first, and if
Okay.
he is still pursuing, then we said you will lose the job. See,
Okay.
so there is something called blacklisting in the IT field. If a person is doing the sexual harassment, he'll be blacklisted, and they have a particular website in which they just reveal this person is problematic, this person is a harasser, something that they are putting. So he will not get any employment in any other companies. So this thing is happening in the IT field. So they are very, they are very cautious that they should not be getting blacklisted in the organization. So similar to that, like the girls should be informed that even after, breaking the relationship, if he's continuing to harass him, then it amounts to sexual harassment. See, that knowledge should be given to the girls so that they can handle. And one thing is, immediately if they fall in relationship, they take photos, videos, all these things. It's complicating their life. So that also, I don't know how to address that. This is also happening. Another case in Hitachi handled a finance guy. He was, harassing, having sexual relationships with all his junior, blocking their, even candidates who are coming for interview. He had offered them job only if they come to a particular resort with him. So, okay, so these type of harassments and all we are handling in Hitachi. So, it is better, the girls know, and some girls have boldly they are coming and filing a complaint. That is also happening now. These days, women are more confident, educated. They're not willing to tolerate these nonsense anymore.
And also amazing to see in Tamil Nadu, women employment is 6 lakh and above, where the 98% literacy rate, Kerala is having only 6,000 and odd women are working.
Even
And
I'm surprised.
it was a paradoxical statement for me, it was, so I think that means even without literacy, our state women are working, means we need to educate them more then. That is what the burden lies on us.
No, now Flexicon is employing 18,000 employees, ma'am. Flexicon in Sri Permatur, and they have provided accommodation, everything. See, there's a lot of activity going on in Tamil Nadu. A lot of women are coming and working these days.
Okay. So would you like to take up a Q&A session? I will tell the Tiago to open up. Is it okay with you?
Sure. Yeah,
okay,
sure.
Tiago, dear faculty, if you want to raise any question, please unmute yourself. We are going to give you unmute option to every one of you. One by one, you can clear your doubts or, whatever you want ask Mrs. Vidya. Advocate Vidya. She will be able to clear you. Please. Tiago, unmute panpalario.
Yes, ma'am, unmuted, ma'am.
Unmuted. Okay. So those ever want to ask, please do ask the questions. It's open for all of you.
Yes. Ma'am, I would like to start, ma'am, with one question. Ma'am, it was very wonderful presentation, but I understand POXO covers child abuse. Under POXO, what is the maximum age, ma'am? Because we have children, students joining us with the 17 years. So if anything such...
this act applies to girls above 18 years.
Okay.
Below 18, they are considered as children only, and 17 years POXO, we have to file a case.
Ma'am, maybe briefly, could you tell the difference between POXO and POSH for the better understanding?
See, protection of children from sexual abuse is called POXO. Okay. So POXO is little severe. They have given death penalty. Okay. And for POXO also a similar thing, like showing pornographic materials or touching or anything like that is an offense. Okay. And also using children for any of these type of acts. Okay. For example, see, a boy is being used to give love letter to a girl. Okay. It comes under POXO. Okay. so that the boy doesn't know. Okay, giving yeah, like an agent or something like that, and also see, it applies for both, boys are also sexually abused, so it is for both of them. Okay, so basic thing is like these laws are severe in POSH Act, and the FIR has to be filed immediately. And the district jurisdiction is the district magistrate is a person. So you have to can file a case, and age is from even from 1 year and all, they are abusing children. Okay, so any unwanted touch, any like any way of showing pornographic material or any sexual assault, it comes under POSH. Okay, so a girl child, imagine in a particular, your girl student studying in your college, she's only 17 years old, she is falling in love, she's going eloping with a particular individual. These situations will come in college situation, college environment. So, and suddenly the parent comes and asks, saying that the girl is missing. Okay, in that case, POSH only applies. Okay, even though if she is married, that husband is only considered as an offender because she's underage, she's only 70. Why they have particularly given made this act is, see, they don't have that mental ability to decide whether they can take up marriage or not. Okay, they can see, they are not given permission to give no acceptance for marriage. Simple. See, 18 years is the legal adult age for our according to our law. So below that, if she's eloping or she's going out without the parents or marrying or something like that, is actually kidnapping case தான். வேற ஒண்ணுமே முடியாது. He'll be arrested for that. So that is very important.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. There's one more comment from the message I would like to tell you, ma'am. Ill-treating women based on their caste. Does it
see, there is something called no, it doesn't come. See, simultaneous and I actually did a training for urban local bodies employees for see, example, person from a scheduled caste community is coming for applying some death certificate or nativity certificate, something like that. If the panchayat level employee is asking for some sexual favors, she's going and giving a complaint saying that I'm sexually harassed. So 2 acts will come, both POSH, SC/ST Act. POSH Act is only for 3 to 5 years, SC/ST Act minimum 10 years. POSH Act is only, it's a bailable offense. SC/ST Act, non-bailable. Immediately, even you don't have to file an FIR. Without filing an FIR, if a girl goes and gives a complaint, immediately he can be arrested. No FIR is needed. So SC/ST Act is very severe. Okay. So I was just coaching for the urban local bodies employees also, that it's very sensitive. We have to handle those cases very carefully. So in any cases, for that matter, I see, for example, if somebody is molesting through WhatsApp or something like that, trying to stalk or something like that, you have Information Technology Act applicable, you have POSH Act applicable, you have BNS Act applicable. Usually this combination of acts they will put.
Yes, thank you, ma'am.
I mean, before anyone take up, I just have one doubt, Vidya.
Yes,
see, I off late, I'm hearing in some of the districts, okay, when they want to appoint the faculty, usually it is not the custom when you appointed in the private sector to ask for the caste community they belong. Okay. Nowadays they started doing that, and they would love to appoint their own community people only in the private sector, and also the students, sort of untouchability in the classes they are having, it seems. So if it is so, under what section they could be filed?
No, that comes purely under SC/ST Act.
Oh, okay. All right. So
Yes, yes.
is it somebody has to come and voluntarily tell us, or with the anonymous letters we can proceed and do a surprise and do something?
You can actually file a complaint by yourself. You don't need the victim to file a complaint in that.
Okay, no, we
Okay,
just
if it is
get
very,
anonymous letters,
yeah, you can proceed based on that also.
Okay,
But
okay.
you have to investigate
Okay.
properly before filing a complaint or before police is entering or anything like that, because it matters. The brand of the college and image of the
Okay.
college is very important.
Okay.
So if there is any issue with regard to this SC/ST thing,
Mm.
I advise you make a proper investigation in your college. If you feel that there is substantial evidence to prove that there is a solid case, then you can go to the police.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. So,
So that,
dear ma'am,
again,
yes, ma'am, I'll take. Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, can I ask a question to
Yes.
Madam
Yeah.
Vidya? Madam Vidya, thank you so much for taking us through all these important things that we are supposed to know. With the advent of AI that is coming up today, we find that
Yes.
lot of misuse is happening
Yes.
with projecting women's picture, especially. And this
Yes.
is also becoming very, very rampant among students. So, where are we supposed to apply this POSH Act in that situation?
See, what generally they do is this is very sensitive, very good question actually. We have to really see, you have to immediately, if a girl is, imagine coming and giving you a complaint saying that he has been morphed with the AI technology, that her head is put combined with a nude body, and she has been harassed. Okay, you have to take that evidence. Okay, and you have to go, and it's a serious case which IC committee cannot handle, because it is only a police case. So we have to, any member of the IC committee can go along with the victim and file an FIR with the police station. And see, you have a system where the cyber department is there. They can actually find out the source of the that video, and within 48 hours they can remove that this thing. See, I'm just telling you as a mother, I'm telling you my experience. We're all mothers, we are all part of family and all those things. See, what advice I have given to my daughter is studying in a hostel. Okay, so when she went to a hostel, I told her, see, don't see, whatever you have in your body, every woman is having same parts we have. So imagine you are in a hostel, you are taking birth, somebody is taking a video or something like that. Don't bother. If somebody is showing other things, tell him bullshit. Go and do whatever you want. You don't have to get upset or something like that. Don't bother. You just tell your parents, or you just tell your principal, or your people in your college with whom you are comfortable. Okay, so they can actually help you. So this thing, only if IC committee is very strong in your organization, or any other person, see, every girl is going through this. See, this mobile is ஒரு டைம்ல வரோம்னு சொல்லிட்டு இன்னொரு டைம்ல நம்ம சாபம் கூட சொல்லிக்கலாம். So plus and minus are there. So we have to give that confidence in our students. Don't worry, we are there to help you. You come out. See, because a lot of suicides and all are happening. Recently, 3 months before in Valasaravakam, the same incident happened when one boy had morphed that girl. She was a second year student. Her parents were grocery shop owners. They have gone to purchase things in grocery shop. Her elder sister has finished her 3-year course and was working somewhere. This girl was threatened by this morphing, and she actually has put her photo in Instagram. That boy has pulled out her photo and morphed, and she has sold her jewelry, some chain she was wearing. She sold, and she has paid some 25,000, 50,000. Beyond that, she didn't have money. So she didn't know how to handle. She committed suicide. Okay. One thing we have to tell our children, and we have to tell our students, see, it's happening everywhere. Okay. It has become common. So don't worry. We will file a complaint in the cyber thing, and within 48 hours, he'll remove. Who is the source can be arrested, and it can be put behind bars. I'm telling this Anna University case also, one important thing, message. He has called her parents, and the parents came, and the parents told, we will stand by you. Whatever you want to do, you please do. You want to file a complaint, we are by your side. If you don't want to pursue, it's okay with me. So this confidence her parents had given, only then she has given a complaint. So the same thing is applying for every one of us. We have that social responsibility to protect. So that thing we have to give. So this is a very good question. So this is the procedure actually. IC members, if any student comes to you saying that this is happening, you can take one of the IC members, you can get the evidence. First, evidence, எல்லாத்துக்குமே evidence வேணும் மேம். Evidence எடுத்துட்டு ஒரு IC member-ஓட போயிட்டு we have to seek the police help.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Vidya, I have a question. See, the educational institutions, we don't have any ICC committee, basically, the private sector. So is there any law that it is a mandate that even education?
Yes, doctor. Actually, என்னன்னா இப்போ சுப்ரீம் கோர்ட் ஜட்ஜ்மெண்ட் ஒன்று வந்து மேல வந்திருக்கு. ஆரிஜினா கேஸ்ன்னு சொல்லிட்டு கோவா கேஸ்ல Supreme Court has given an instruction by January 31st. All government departments, they have to form a IC committee. So I advise all colleges to have a IC committee with minimum 3 members. And local NGO, அதாவது ஒரு female NGO
No, that is for government.
That is applicable for all private colleges also.
Wonderful. Then I will incorporate in my inspection performer itself for all of them to have it, so that the children will be educated. Thank you. I just want to know that.
Yes.
Okay.
Sure. So it is better, no? It is not only like, investigation sort of thing. It is creating an awareness among the children to handle these type of situation. They will face the society in a better way.
Better way. Yeah, that's what. If they have a ICC committee, they will have a confidence. They can come and tell,
if they are going and working in hospitals, ma'am, see, they are facing a lot of sexual harassment in hospital. Imagine a doctor misbehaving. I've heard a case where, in a in operation theater, a particular doctor used to, every time if his operation is successful, immediately he'll hug and kiss the nurse, saying that the operation is, she was feeling very awkward. She was not able to take that behavior of the doctor. She was depressed, and someone who accidentally, she met a person from the state commission and member of state women's right commission, and she was helped. So see, these situation, lot of nurses, and there was one more incident in Tamil Nadu where a nurse was stripped, taken a video, and she attempted suicide also. That case also I just went through. So a lot of cases like this happening with doctors and nurses. So they should be, we should actually give a sort of awareness to all the students. So it's a better thing.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. I have a small video in that this thing slide. If Thiago can put that video on, to be helpful.
Yes, ma'am.
And to add on, ma'am, one more thing. Like it happens that in all the colleges, it is mandatory that we have to sensitize our students and the employees about both the ICC committee and the grievance redressal committee. And there are plenty of boxes, suggestion boxes, complaint boxes that are placed everywhere in the campus, so that students can drop the messages, or the faculty or anyone who has been having issues can drop the messages directly inside the complaint boxes. That is also being done.
Complaint box has to be kept somewhere near restroom or something where, it is out of the purview of the management. Sometimes, they will feel not comfortable with, dropping the letter in the complaint box. So generally, a changing room somewhere, or, in canteen, they have a separate, some privacy is needed. So there you can have the complaint box. So, but it cannot be anonymous. I'm telling you clearly, anonymous complaint cannot be entertained by the IC committee. Okay, so that you have to make it very clear. And one case I have handled in which, the victim was not ready to give a written complaint. I investigated the matter fully and I collected all the evidence, but the girl was not willing to. She said, I'm getting married. I don't want to get involved in this. Please, I can't give a written complaint. So, only if the person, the victim gives a written complaint, only the IC committee can investigate the matter. So, all we have to do is encourage them, give the confidence. And also, there is something called confidentiality agreement, which you can sign with both the victim and a respondent, and even with the IC members, and witness. They are not supposed to go and talk about the case outside. One thing, and usually this investigation must happen, in a weekend or a Saturday, Sunday, where there's no college or something like that, so that nobody else sees what is happening. Oh, what is happening? So all these commotions, we should avoid that. Maybe in the evenings or in a Sunday, when whatever is comfortable, we should have this inquiry at the complaint. Once you receive the complaint, within 7 days, you have to send a notice to the respondent, and he has to reply within 15 days. And the IC committee should be, they should come together and start investigation. So all this process has to be completed within 60 days of time. So that is very important. So that also you have to look into that.
Thank you, ma'am. There's a question in a chat box.
Yes.
Can you please tell us in detail about forming IC committee in institutions, ma'am? Maybe you have explained in your presentation, maybe a quick review of what you have already explained.
How you have to, set up IC committee is, there should be a presiding officer. So minimum 4 people is needed in an IC committee. Okay. One, it should be a presiding officer. Presiding officer should be a senior person. Somebody management level, who can, everybody should have a social thought.
Yes,
okay, social thought. Somebody who's in like dean or something like that, presiding officer, or head of the department will be ideal.
Yes.
Second is an employer representative, somebody from the college side. Okay,
Yes.
maybe associate professor or professor rank. Okay, one should be from the employee side, like student side. Somebody who's actually, maybe if you have a NCC thing or something like that, a person from that, or a student union, if you have somebody, a member from the student union. See, everybody, you should carefully appoint person who can understand the situation, who has a social thought, who can approach that situation in a very nice. See, I'm telling you, when you're handling this case, நிறைய complainants பயங்கரமா அழுவாங்க. ஓகேங்களா, ரொம்ப பேஷண்டா நம்ம ஹேண்டில் பண்ணணும். யூ ஹாவ் டு மேக் தம் ஸ்பீக். ஓகே, அதுக்கு கம்ஃபர்டபுளா இருக்கிறவங்களதான் கிட்டதான் அவங்க பேசுவாங்க. So you have to choose these people very carefully. Okay, so that is why I'm telling you, social thought இருக்கிறவங்க. And also this tenure of these people also is only for 3 years. You can keep changing.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the tenure of these people are 3 years. And minimum on a particular investigation date, minimum 3 people should be there. Adula presiding officer must be there. See, for various situation, dean போயிடலாம், இல்ல head of the department வெளியில போயிடலாம். அந்த மாதிரி situationல presiding officer should be there, and external member should be there.
Yes.
Okay, so minimum 3 people on a particular day should be there. And the report has to be, recommendations we have to write after proper investigation. ஒரு பொண்ணு sexual harassment complaint கொடுக்குறாங்க. You are examining the complainant, you are examining the respondent, you are examining the witness, you are checking the evidences, whatever she has produced. Everything you are checking. All the 4 are discussing. You are coming to a conclusion whether the person is guilty or not. You are writing a recommendation, and you have to submit this to the principal or
Yes.
the management. So this is the process. The management, after receiving that, within a week, they have to take action. Action என்னவா இருக்கும்னா, see, I have already told you it's a civil remedy.
Yes.
Either you can dismiss, suspend, depromote, or if in case cut the salary, or give a compensation to
Yes,
the
ma'am.
victim in extraordinary cases. This is
Yes.
the only possible punishments available in POSH Act. Okay, anything which is going physical, sexual assault, bathroom la ஒரு பொண்ண attempting to rape start ஆகுது பாருங்க, that becomes criminal.
Yes, ma'am.
That becomes criminal, then you have to call police. There's
Yes.
no other option. IC committee cannot interfere. So what, இப்போ உங்க காலேஜ்ல ஒரு particular incident நடக்குது, where when the girl student is going to her restroom, somebody is trying to rape her. Okay, in that case, immediately IC committee கிட்ட ஒரு just ஒரு word கேட்டுட்டு, suggestion கேட்டுட்டு, immediately you have to inform the
Fine.
police, and
Yes, ma'am.
police will come and take charge. Okay, this is
Yes.
the actually what is the procedure. And one more thing I wanted to tell you, I forgot. Uh, so this is the general, I'll just tell you.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
other
Ma'am,
things, any other சொல்லுங்க.
even to the IC committee, ma'am, a girl is complaining, but without evidence, now how to go about, ma'am?
See, usually this is also a very good question. She is not able to collect evidence. See, நான் ஒரு கேஸ் சொல்றேன். என்னாச்சு, in one particular organization, there was only 4 members because it's a sales-based organization. So அதுல particular there were only 2 members. See, this girl was sitting in the cabin opposite la ஒரு person வந்து he was just winking, showing heart and trying to kissing மாதிரி பண்றது, அந்த மாதிரி பண்ணிட்டு she was finding it's very torturous. She was trying to put down her papers and she was telling HR. So HR வந்து கேட்டாங்க, எவிடன்ஸ்னா என்னால எவிடன்ஸ் எடுக்க முடியல. So what the HR did is they planted a weakness there. ஒரு
Okay.
எக்ஸ்ட்ராவா ஒரு பொண்ணை போட்டு you
Yes.
just observe
Hmm.
what is happening. So she observed and she became a witness. So if a girl is coming and giving a complaint and she's not able to gather evidence in vechkonga,
Yes.
as a HR or a HOD of the department, they can try to gather evidence, help out. இல்ல ஒரு செக்யூரிட்டி கிட்ட கேட்கலாம்ப்பா, நீங்க பாத்தியா அவங்க 2 பேரும் இந்த மாதிரி பண்ண, அந்த பையன் என்ன பண்றான், நீங்க
Yes.
ஏதாவது உங்களுக்கு பண்ண முடிஞ்சுதா? அப்படி இல்லைன்னா இப்ப அந்த ஒரு பசங்க சில டைம் வந்து எல்லாரும் கிளாஸ் விட்டுட்டு போயிட்டு அப்புறம் 2 ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் மட்டும் தனியா இருப்பாங்க. So
Yes.
you can gather evidence from CCTV. You can gather evidence from security guard or a lab assistant or something like that. This sort of investigation we can do through the HR department.
Yes.
In spite of this, we are not able to get then it's very difficult. Extraordinary cases, based on the sensitivity of the case, we can actually somehow manage to get evidence. Otherwise, you can warn the boy saying that we have evidence. Something
Yes.
we can do.
Yeah.
So that it does not continue.
Okay. Okay. Ma'am, there's
You
one more
need to-
question.
Yeah,
One more
please.
question, ma'am. Can principal be the presiding officer of IC
No,
committee?
no.
Yes. Okay.
Because recommendation has to come to you.
Okay. Okay.
You have to take action. Okay.
Okay.
So in that case, somebody, I suggest better HOD or somebody like that can be an ideal person who will be the presiding officer.
Ma'am, is the women should be the presiding officer, ma'am?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. It is
Women
always
should
the
be
women should be a presiding officer of
presiding
ICC.
Mostly what I have observed is all our IC committee members, all are women, or 1 or 2 are men. Because
Men.
sometimes, the respondent might be innocent. I have handled such case. ஒரு பொண்ணு வந்து it was a broken relationship. வந்து he was his marriage got fixed. Okay, she was feeling used. Okay,
Yes.
so she filed a complaint saying,
Yes.
she said 1.5 years munnadi he raped me inta. She
Okay.
became pregnant inta. Apro she attempted suicide. So
Yes.
it became criminal. Police FIR has filed. FIR, police came and asked, what was IC committee doing? அப்பதான் இவங்க IC committee set பண்றாங்க. So I was called in because it was a criminal case. I was called in. I went and investigated. Very tough investigation. That girl cried. I have to give her 3 bunch of tissue paper for her. And finally, we took all the reports. We went to a doctor because she attempted suicide. So we asked the doctor, is there any blood, this thing from uterus or something like that? Any symptoms of, she said, I attempted suicide, adanala I got aborted. So we asked the doctor, is there any this proof of this abortion or something in the medical report? He said no, nothing like
என்ன
that.
ஆச்சு உனக்கு?
So அந்த மாதிரி
Please mute
ரிசர்ச்
yourself.
மெத்தடாலஜி ஸ்டார்டிங்ல இருந்தே சொல்லிட்டே இருக்கேன்ல. யூ ஹேவ் டு கான்சென்ட்ரேட் a lot. கரெக்டா
Madam,
கிளாஸுக்கும் வரீங்கள,
Madam
கரெக்டா
Mageshwari,
எதுவும்
madam.
படிக்கவும் இல்ல. why it is Shame?
Madam Mrs. Mageshwari, please mute yourself.
அது என்ன இந்த தடவை பண்ணிடுது? ஆல்ரெடி பண்றது இல்லாம இந்த தடவை இனிமே பண்ணி என்ன இருக்கு?
Tyagarajan, please.
யூ ஹேவ் டு
mute
ஷோ
again.
யுவர்ஸ்ல. ஒரு பிஜி படிக்க
Sorry, ma'am, please continue. Please, one second.
Ma'am, unmute, ma'am. Unmute.
Yes.
Okay, got it. Okay, so what had happened is, second enna prove pannona, she said he forced me to take, second time pregnancy, he forced me to take pills in the canteen to abort his child. She gave up a strip, medical strip. Okay, so when the incident happened, it was happened in January. All the witness supported her, saying that she was pregnant, she was glowing, she walked as if she was a pregnant person. Other than she created evidence supporting her the claim of being pregnant and all those things. But strip manufacturing date, it was in March manufacturing date. So we told, you are lying. January incident ஆச்சுன்னா manufacturing date till வந்து மார்ச்ல இருக்கு. என்ன, why you are telling all these things? So that boy was saved. See, why I am telling you this is, malicious complaints வரும். But we have to carefully investigate each and every matter. Okay, அது வந்து அந்த நம்மளுக்கு அந்த எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ்ல அது வந்துரும், அந்த கிராஸ் எக்ஸாமினேஷன்ல. And one important thing what I want to tell everybody is, no lawyers are allowed inside IC committee. So if the complainant வந்து ஒரு லாயரை கூட்டிட்டு வந்துட்டாங்கன்னா, you can clearly tell no lawyers inside. Okay, so the law clearly says lawyers are not allowed inside the IC committee. You have absolute powers to investigate and give the recommendations to the management. And another very important thing is, all documents வந்து நீங்க பத்திரமா வச்சுக்கணும். ஏனக்கா there are a lot of chances of going for an appeal.
Yes.
Okay, so any case வந்ததுன்னா, that you have to carefully number it and keep it ready, all records. வந்து email sent to the respondent, complaint copy, evidence collected, investigate, cross-examine பண்ற the dates, everything, meetings, everything has to be minuted. All documents have to be preserved and kept carefully for 3 months to 6 months. And the record பக்கவா இருக்கணும், otherwise you will lose the case in High Court. Okay,
Yes,
so you have to be careful and carefully investigate and give proper recommendations to the management.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Any other doubts you can ask? Anybody have any doubts?
Ma'am, good afternoon, ma'am. I'm Vijayalakshmi from
Yes.
Trivandrum. Ma'am, many important informations we know as a being all late 50s, even the definition of sexual harassment, we are very clear right now, because the word harassment means it is something extreme physical abuse or a psychiatric condition only, we have to go in that way. So small things also you said us very clearly. Ma'am, another thing I would like to have a clarification. Like 80 to 90% of the complaints are not reaching. It is only because of the mass media and the social media, which may portray the girl as well as the family, where her future will be spoiled. So is there the protection has been given for not revealing the identity of that female?
Yes. See, victim protection is very important thing. That is why I told confidentiality agreement is there. Okay, when you are creating you're going to give an awareness session. And that awareness session, you will clearly say, see, we are not going to reveal the name of the person. We are not going to reveal sometimes, the witness won't be ready to come and give you
Not only IC committee, I'm telling you, even the complaint what we are launching in the police station or when it goes to the case like that.
they have wantedly released the FIR because they don't want other girls to come and give a complaint. It's a very big cartel போல இருக்குங்க தெரியல. ஓகேங்களா? Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. See, அது வந்து now there's a lot of things have happened in Anna University. We are unclear because it's sub judice. But the main attempt made is to avoid other girls to come forward and giving complaint. Only the FIR has been released in சொல்றாங்க. So, but actually, according to POSH Act, actually, according to all this IPC sections, everything, BNS sections, victim protection system where they are not supposed to reveal the name of the victim. Whether it is a rape case or whether it is you will see in Arjikar case or in in the case, Nirbhaya case, they were given only other names. Okay. So that, even the parents, அவருடைய face கூட அவங்க வந்து இது பண்ணியிருந்தாங்க, if you can observe. So the whole family is actually protected. That is what law says. But sometimes it is being misused for various reasons. They are coming out and telling. Media is following the system very well. Media is not telling this thing. They are very cautious. But somewhere in the policing only, they have made this mistake. They say that because of the change of BNS, technical glitches or wrong. I don't think so. They are just finding out a reason. But system is, law says victim has to be protected. Their identity has to be protected. நீங்க மத்த கேஸே எடுத்துக்கோங்களேன், domestic violence கேஸ்ல வந்தா கூட they don't say the name.
Yes, ma'am.
the face வந்து இது பண்ணிடுவாங்க.
Yes,
Because
ma'am.
some relationship, fallout of relationship, ஏமாத்திட்டு போயிட்டான், எனக்கு கல்யாணம் பண்ணிக்காம false promise of marriage, நிறைய cases நீங்க நியூஸ்ல அப்சர்வ் பண்ணீங்கன்னா ஃபேஸ வந்து மறைச்சிருவாங்க. ஓகேங்களா? So that is what law says. So that is protected. But somewhere in Anna University case, deliberate, they have made a mistake. That is why compensation of 25 lakhs has been awarded by the Supreme Court from the person who had deliberately leaked the FIR. Supreme Court judgment கொடுத்திருக்காங்க. That is why this SID is actually investigating. Hope we get justice.
Ma'am, எனக்கு ஒரு clarification, ma'am. Like what I'm telling is I faced in my college. Our girl and boy, they loved each other and they நல்லா click photos எல்லாம் நல்லா பண்ணியிருந்தாங்க. Actually, the boy truly loved her, but அந்த girl என்ன பண்ணிட்டாங்க, ஒரு point of timeல அவங்க family situationனாலயோ plus societal constraintனாலயோ I want to have a breakup ன்னு சொல்லிட்டாங்க. But அந்த அப்ப நீங்க என்னோட எடுத்த போட்டோ அது இது எல்லாம் சொல்லி வந்து சொல்றான். பட் ஆக்சுவலி அந்த கம்ப்ளைண்ட் எனக்கே வந்துருச்சு, எனக்கிட்டே காமிச்சு அதெல்லாம் சொன்னாங்க. அப்ப கேர்ள் பாயிண்ட் ஆஃப் வியூல ஃபேமிலினால ஸ்டாப், நீங்க சொன்னீங்க எனி டைம் ஸ்டாப் பண்ணா தட் இஸ் கால்ட் அஸ் an ஹராஸ்மென்ட்னு சொன்னீங்க. பட் இந்த சைட்ல வந்து அந்த பாய் வந்து அவனே சூசைட் பண்ற லெவல்ல நிக்கிறான். இந்த கேர்ள் இல்லைன்னா என்னால வாழ முடியாது, எனக்கு ஃபால்ஸ் ஹோப்ஸ் கொடுத்தாங்க, நான் கண்டிப்பா கல்யாணம் பண்ணிக்கிறேன்னு சொன்னாங்க, இப்படி பண்ணிட்டு இப்ப அம்மா அப்பா இல்லாத டைம்ல என்ன வீட்டுக்கு கூட வர சொன்னாங்க, என்ன யூஸ் பண்ணாங்க, இப்ப எங்களுக்கு எல்லாம் என்ன சொல்லி கேட்கும் போது இத ஹராஸ்மென்ட் சொல்வீங்களா இல்ல பாய்ஸ்க்கு என்ன சொல்வீங்க?
ஒண்ணுமே பண்ண முடியாது. See, consent is important for a marriage. Both side consent. So இப்போ அந்த கேர்ள் வந்து அவனை யூஸ் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கான்னு கிளியரா தெரியுது நீங்க சொல்றத வச்சு. ஆனா வந்து see, you can't force her to marry him. That is not possible. See, even the parents forcing விட்டுருங்க. That girl should, she's an adult. He has to give a consent for marriage. If she is not giving a consent to marriage, then it is impossible. See, and we have to only counsel the boy saying that life is not ending here. Just carry on. I know it is very difficult. Getting emotionally involved is one very difficult thing, and coming out of that is relationship is very, very difficult. I can understand, but there is no option. Either he has to try convince the girl. If she is not getting convinced, then at some point of time he has to drop out. The life cannot stop there. No? Life has to go on. So he has to come out of that. No other option.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Maybe we can take one more last question, ma'am. It is already.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is there any more question from the participants? I mean.
Okay. I have a small video.
Yes,
அது மட்டும் போட்டு சொல்லுங்க தியாகுவ லாஸ்ட் வீடியோ.
Previous video, ma'am. Last
no, last one la one irukku. It will give a
last
nice
slide,
understanding. Last slide பாருங்க. கீழ வாங்க, இன்னும் வாங்க. Next one. இதெல்லாம் நான் ஏற்கனவே சொல்லிட்டேன். There is this Kavalan map also. You can ask your students to download. It will be very useful. Actually, நான் try பண்ணிருக்கேன். It has worked out. So 181 also, no, it's one thing. In the latest the case the Kilambakam case that girl immediately what she has done is our correct location வந்து அனுப்பிச்சுட்டா, live location அனுப்புனதுனால police immediately reached out to her. But அதுக்கு முன்னாடி அவங்க கொஞ்சம் ரேப் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காங்க. But anyway, but she was smart. She had alerted her boyfriend and she had alerted the police. Live location அனுப்பிச்சிருக்கா. So some things like this we have to teach the girls. Next slide, last one பாருங்க. ஒரு கார்ட்டூன் மாதிரி வரும். Next. Put this.
It is never just a joke, just a compliment, or just harmless flirting. Sexual harassment at the workplace includes physical contact as well as verbal and non-verbal behaviors. You may feel powerless, ashamed, afraid to lose your job, or even guilty. However, it is important to realize that this is not your fault, so don't suffer in silence and try the following 4 steps. First, confront your harasser and give them a warning. If it doesn't stop, turn to step 2. Collect proof such as video and voice recordings or screenshots of inappropriate messages. Next, note down instances so you don't miss out on any detail. And finally, approach your supervisor with all the proof and have faith in the process. Here's to strong women. May we be them, may we know them, may we raise them. EAP India, employee wellness leads to successful business.
Friends, I will ask this PPT to be shared with every one of you so that if possible, you can also give training to your students. So it will be useful for everybody. So hope it was useful to all of you. Thanks for the opportunity, Doctor. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Let me take 1 minute of time, ma'am. At the outset, I would like to thank Advocate Vidya Balasubramaniam, who is also a post consultant, for elaboratively explaining the concept, ma'am, because it is a need of our nursing being women-dominated profession, and moreover, we handle nursing students. They are girls, and though there are few institutions, though they handle both the gender. This information is an eye-opening session for all our principals, ma'am. Thank you so much for explaining with the case examples, real life stories, so that we could understand. And hopefully all our principals definitely will follow your advice, and I think they'll be able to establish IC committee in their institution. Thank you so much, ma'am. It was a wonderful session, and we would be very grateful to you. Also, at this junction, I would like to thank our registrar, who's always for the profession of nursing. It's her idea, because she was discussing long back, ma'am. She discusses with us because she wanted to empower all women, the nursing principals as well as faculty members, the nursing students on this post. Because every day when we read the newspaper, there are, what is reported is only less, but there are so many things happening. So I would like to
many
thank
women should come out, should speak, and come out of this harassment.
Yes, ma'am. I would also thank our registrar for this, wonderful.
I also thank Dr. Nigris for giving this wonderful opportunity, for creating awareness. Thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you all participants for your participation. And I hope you all will be benefited and taking this message to your, for your applications and implementation in your day-to-day life. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
With your permission, I would like to end the session, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.